think she has Wi-Fi problem.
I will wait.
Yeah. Yes. Are you all done ideating? Do you need more time?
Yes.
Just take let's take 1 minute to structure how we'll be using the weaknesses, like to overcome the weaknesses. Just 1 minute for structure that. Can we go ahead?
Yes.
Yes. Are you sure to design?
Ayush,
Sorry.
would you like to start?
Yeah. Am I starting?
Yeah, yeah. Y'all are four, right? You
Uh,
are Teresa. Yeah, I should start.
uh, okay. Uh, so should tuition classes be? Are tuition classes useless? It's is our topic for today's debate, and I'm supporting that tuition classes are useless because I believe there are many disadvantages of going to tuition. First, let's be clear what tuition classes are. So, as per my understanding, tuition classes is something which a student goes after school or something where he learns some related to his academics apart from his regular schoolwork. Mostly, the age group which lies for this for tuitions are mostly maybe around 7 to 15 years of age, which I believe are is a very important fundamental age to build many skills. And going to tuition might end up taking a lot of time. So that brings me to my first disadvantages. That is, tuitions are total waste of time because uh, first of all student have to go to the school, then maybe come home, have lunch, and again go for tuitions and learn the same thing again, and it could be really frustrating at times, and you end up learning the same thing again. Instead, this time could be better used to learn some certain new skills or exploring your youth, trying new skills like singing, dancing, cooking, learning new game or new language or any sports for that matter. I think this will end up being more beneficial to the student because he will develop more cognitive skills. The second disadvantage is could be would be too much pressure for student to handle because you learn the same thing twice, and again it might not be you might not be comfortable in it because it might not follow the pace which you want, might go too fast. And also sometimes you study the same thing at the school and then again to the tuition. Sometimes tuition is going at a faster pace and you are learning two concepts at the same time, and it could be very confusing for the student and can be end up being frustrated. uh, Better solution for this could be, instead of tuition they can look for the alternatives, like maybe you can learn from YouTube where he can learn from his own pace without any restriction. You can rewatch the lessons as many times as you want, and even by doing self learning I think a student will be better equipped with more life skills for the future. And that's my take on tuitions.
Good points, Ayush. To add to what Ayush had to say, one of the most selfish things you can do to someone is to help them. Okay, so children, when you tell them how to work with things, I feel like they learn lesser. And tuition classes, they elaborate more on the ratta mar culture than actually helping the student study. In the end, what the child is left with is information and knowledge that can be used in real life.
Ayush, is Teresa
Yeah.
stuck for even you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's raining here, so maybe that is the reason.
Might be, yes. I just messaged her. Okay. Yeah, she's offline. We'll wait. We'll wait. Mm.
Can I start
Hello,
again?
Triza. Yes, yes, Triza. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. My first point would be one of the most selfish things you can do to someone is to help them. Um, I feel in tuition classes, people they focus more on information than knowledge. If you are not, say for example, if you don't study a particular thing, you are punished for that. Instead of making the child understand the topic, the child is forced to learn the topic by heart, and if you don't know it, you are punished, which is, I feel, very wrong. Next topic is children learn more when they are less told. What tuition classes do is they spoon feed everything for you. Like for example, you're given an assignment in school that is done for you in the tuition class, whereas when if a student does it at home, like that would be more worth than going for a tuition class and doing it like it's readily done for you there, so that would be a waste. Third point I would like to focus on is tuition classes run more for fame and top results than betterment of the child. Uh, and Fourth point I would like to elaborate on is their courses are at a kidney selling prices, and I feel that is not needed. A child can do that at home. As Ayush said, self study could be like a great alternative to overcome that. So I feel tuition classes are completely a waste of time and money.
Yes. Over to me.
Yes.
Uh, yeah. So I would like to state by saying that not all fingers of the hands are same. Sometimes you require help, and sometimes you require some personal assistance. And in the school, it is not possible for the faculty to look after 50 plus students or give a personalized personal attention. So this is why I strongly believe that tuition classes are helpful for a lot of people, and I feel tuition classes are useful. Some of the points which I have with me right now is first, I think sometimes parents are busy and at an early stage where student might not be affectionate to the subjects like maths or some other subject. It might be, going to tuition classes and practicing them might be very helpful. It will again help him to build some cognitive skills. So yeah, this is one reason why I feel that, when parents are busy, when parents can't look at the child, or the child does not have affection towards the subject, it is it is okay to send the student to the tuition. Secondly, I think it runs a source of income for the tuition teachers or the staff who is handling that. And again, it helps in the economic perspective as well. Third, I would say tuition provides great features like some tuitions have certain things like crash courses for 10th standard student, which is like covering the entire syllabus in 30 months, 30 days, which also gives a head start to the student who later on, like he can focus the whole year with the syllabus, but he gets good understanding of the syllabus. Also, tuition teachers has test papers or some practice questions, which can help the student again to excel in the exams. Fourth reason I feel is networking. A frog from the pond does not know what goes in the ocean. Like if a student does not if the student is not aware about what other colleges or other schools are going to, like what syllabus is there, like what type of questions they are practicing, it is always good, you get the experience of the other schools as well. You kind of network, and sometimes you get good friends in tuition as well. And my other point will be online tuitions, like which provides you with daily question dpp practices and all, which helps you connect with some great experienced faculties, and which is known like globally or nationwide. And my last point is motivation is not always possible, and sometimes when you see your peers or the surroundings, you try to improve a lot, and thus I strongly feel tuition classes are very necessary. Yeah. Thank you. Rebuttal phase.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so question for Keman. You said in schools we have 50 plus students, but also in tuition classes there are students more than 100 sometimes, and I feel it is very cluttered, and many children don't get enough attention, especially backbenchers. Like, no one is really bothered about them. So what do you have to say about this?
I think changing school is lesser, like you have more choices when it comes towards tuition, but school you don't really go to change because like there are many students, right? So you can all obviously change your tuition. You can go to other tuition where there are lesser people or you get good attention. And yeah, that is what I would say.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question on the same one, a two-part question. Uh, so, as you started, the five fingers are different, and you believe that tuition will give you unique attention to the uh, student. But as Tisa mentioned, it's just not always the case, and you can't keep on hopping on the different tuitions all the time. And my second, on the similar question, like you mentioned about the online tuitions, but again, it beats your argument about a student getting personalized attention. Like in the online tuitions, there are many students, and you might not end up getting good attention in that.
uh, Firstly, saying about like what was your starting question, Ayush?
Uh, like student not getting unique attention in even in tuition classes.
Okay, for like sometimes the student, like he might be not like for an example, like a student at an early stage. I'm not speaking about 11 12, like early stage. If the student does not have affection towards like maybe say maths, then going to the tuition, at least he will get some picture. Like there will be peers like the other tuition members who will be solving some questions. Like there'll be teacher who will be looking after you if you are solving questions or not, right? So that I would have that I would like to say in that question. What was your second question?
Like on similar note, as you mentioned about online tuitions, for in online classes you hardly get any personalized attention, and it will be like very similar to like watching any random stuff on YouTube or etc.
Okay. In that question, for that question, I would like to say that like a child, if he does not require personalized attention, but if he or she requires quality of education, like the content, I would say like having DPPs, having some daily questions which he or she can solve. Then going for online is better for that person. But there is other alternative. If you are not liking that, you can go for offline classes.
Yeah, but again, like as you mentioned, he can, instead of personalized attention, he wants the quality of education. Then he should go to online classes. But what about like there are many educators on YouTube. You can easily follow any playlist or any educator you want without paying a dime.
But when you pay money, you also be very like cautious about the time that you're giving, right? Like you have spent a little, then you'll like study well
Yeah, yeah, but
without
again,
paying.
if you like buy purchase certain course, most of them don't really allow you a full refund, and also the cost of these online tuitions are usually very high. And if in like maybe at start you may feel because of good marketing that certain tuition classes are good, but later on you realize that they are not really good, and you are not really getting the quality education that you were expecting. So in that scenario, isn't like free YouTube course is better because you can always switch to other options.
Um, Let me have some time with this. Okay. Also, if I say about online classes, there are some local classes also which are not very famous, like which has some capping of the number of seats. Like they will take maybe 30, 50 people in the group itself. So I would say that you can join local tuition classes as well also.
Okay, so um, I spoke about students do like they get like homework from school or assignments from school, and that is readily done for them in their tuition class. So will it be helpful for the child in the future?
Mm, uh, I don't think tuition teacher will, if tuition teacher is doing readily the stuff which is given for the assignment, it also contradicts the statement which you all made saying that tuition teacher won't give personalized time to, like if the tuition teacher has so much time, then the tuition teacher will also give personalized time to the student, right?
But if the child had no additional support, that child would like have no other sources to depend on, and would try to do it on uh, his own, like by himself.
Self study.
Yes.
uh, I would say, like, I would again state the same proverb which I mentioned, like not all fingers are same. Some student require some push, some student require somebody to sit besides the person, and which is obviously very fine. Like it is okay to ask for help.
You mentioned about sometimes when student don't have the affection for the subject, he may need tuition classes. He may need tuition classes. But again, if the student is not really interested in the subject, how can the tuition classes can help? Maybe instead, like something very uh, like very good animated videos on YouTube could be a better alternative, right? Like to develop the interest in the student.
Okay, firstly, I would break this question in two parts about the affectionate affection. Like, I think the whatever syllabus we are having, whatever academics we are having, it will help in the future. Like even the maths, like solving maths, maybe if we consider, like at that time it might seem very useless, but it creates your cognitive skills, and thus I would feel like having somebody to check onto those skills are very helpful. Like even if you don't have affection, and doing that at that time is uh, it will have in a help in a longer perspective. And secondly, about the animation stuff, it also, like, the animation can't be real time, right? If the person has some doubts in the real time, the animation can't just be real time and change. Any question?
Like what about the mismatch between the tuition pace and the school pace? Because sometimes the student is generally in the tuition classes they start in the advance and they are usually way ahead than the normal school curriculum, which can like lead up to students being confused about certain topics and mixing up both things. And certain like tuition students end up like disturbing the class because they already have studied and may end up not paying attention to the teacher in the class.
Okay, firstly, the first question about like going like having mismatch in the pace. Like if you I think if you know the stuff from the like later half of the syllabus, that time also you get a better idea of like how to go ahead, right? And I also mentioned about certain things like crash courses, which, like, when you have better idea about whatever is there in the syllabus, and you can like chill out the whole year and like study properly as per your understandings. And the second point which you mentioned about the student who go for tuition and come back in the school, they disturb the class, that I would say is somewhere wrong. But we do not we it is wrong in the path of the student. Like, but we cannot really blame tuition for that. Like a student can go on YouTube also and watch the all the content before and then come in the school and show off. That could also be the reason, right? Any questions?
Any questions from your side?
uh, okay, I would say self motivation is not really always possible, and sometimes even parents are not around, or parents might be busier. And that time, don't you feel going to the tuition or going to having some additional help or support in the phase could help you little push yourself?
You can always rely on YouTube, right, for that, instead of spending money on actually going for a tuition class. Not only money, it also takes a lot of time. So
Yeah,
uh, but
also
but
adding on to her point, Like as you mentioned about motivation, how can tuition really help the student to get motivated in learning? It's like additional work on top of your original work. So like I don't really believe it will help you to get motivate to learn certain subject.
Okay, addressing the first point which Triza mentioned about YouTube classes, again, I would say that it is not real time, right? Like every person might require some other, like some prerequisites. So, going to tuition, like, can give you very personalized care. And secondly, addressing Ayush question about Ayush, what was your question? About motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, about motivation, it is like very evident then when like a day before exam we study maximum, and it is very evident. But so when you go for tuition teacher might be asking the same question again and again, or might be having some test series, weekly test series, which can make the student study one day before exam, and then he will realize, oh, it is there. Like I'm speaking, uh, the motivation which I'm speaking about is in that sense. That's it. Shall we go ahead? Feedback part.
No,
You have.
yeah. So, tuition can end up taking a lot of time from students' life, and in the youth years, I believe, you should spend time exploring new stuff, learning new skills. So, don't you think going to tuition every day will take up that time, which the student could have used more in a better way?
I think okay, if there is some skills like if you are saying okay, to develop some skills, yes, it tuition do really take time, but it again depends on the person to person, right? If the person is like really requires help, then he can go ahead with tuition, right? And academics also matter, like the marks whichever you are getting, it might not we might not realize that time, but the CGPA, the whatever percent, 10th board percent, it might help later on as well. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Rizal, let's go ahead. Feedback
Yes.
part. Yes. Yeah, feedback part. Anything you have to say?
Yeah,
Uh,
you
uh,
answered the questions really well. Like even when I asked many questions, like they were very lengthy, and even I wasn't aware what I was asking. Like they were two parts question, and you answered it very in a good structure. And also the last question about the time waste, you answered it really well. Like the academics actually matter sometimes, which I end up not even realizing. Uh, like compared to the last few debates, you answered the questions in a much better way instead of just saying anything random.
yes, I think that is because of the no, like pause, like amount of pause I had. Maybe that is the reason. Yeah, thank you, Ayush. Any other feedback?
Also, I
Uh,
felt like the structure of your points was very in order, like today, and there were no gap words used, and everything seemed perfect to me, like today,
yeah, it was very
from your
smooth.
side. Yes.
Try to, yes. Yeah, I have some feedback for your side. First, I think my conclusion was bad, and even yours, like if I have to say, like it did not conclude really well. I don't even remember what was the conclusion. Like it did not have any call to action or any impact. Second, I wish I liked how you had like today you had more points compared to last time, and like we said it in your weakness and you addressed it. It is nice. You had good flow today. Mm, okay, one question I had: how do you do transitions? I use like I do not have it in my mind, but I just wanted to ask. Like we say first point, second point, third point. How do you transit? Like how is your transitions? Do you
Uh,
remember how you do it?
yeah, today I didn't say like point one, point two, point three, and like to structure, I started with a basic definition, like what I understand by tuition classes, and then I stated two main problems. Maybe it wasn't that clear when I was speaking, but it was in my mind. Like my main 2 points about the problems or the disadvantage were time waste and extra pressure, and then I give like possible solution from my side, like self learning and good alternatives. So that structure I followed, but maybe it was not very clear.
Okay. Uh,
Ayush had good questions today, like many questions.
yes. For Teresa, firstly, I did not really like the first quote which you said about helping.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't
very
understand it.
strong
Like
start actually. Yeah, even I didn't really understand it. Helping is
it
not.
was a strong start, like very controversial. Like you can grab any attention, but
Yeah.
then you weren't like full debate wasn't going ahead like along with that. Like whatever you said, at least. What did you feel it about it, Teresa?
I wanted to say a few things on that statement, but I couldn't at that time. Also, I wanted to actually structure it. I came prepared for that. Like it would be firstly, secondly, thirdly, then in addition and moreover. But when I had to say the points, I couldn't really say it. But the first statement was one of the most selfish things you can do to someone is to help them. So that was like more on. The spoon feeding part, like you shouldn't always really help someone. It is uh, what do you say, you call it, they children, they learn more when they are less told, children or anyone for that
Yes,
matter. So
yes,
I think I had to elaborate. I'm still working on that, elaborating a
yes,
bit more on the topic. So yeah.
yes. Yeah, even I felt so. Like I understood what your intent was right now. Like, but that time it said it showed like you were a little negative about something. I don't know. It did not go well with me. What did you feel about that, Ayush?
Yeah, it was actually a very strong start and like grabbed my attention right away. But the follow up wasn't so like supporting to your
A
main
follow up.
quote. uh,
Yes.
like afterwards it's like completely switched the direction and not like very to the very strong start. Like it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like if you start in such a way, then you should follow up with like some strong statements maybe. But one thing I like that you didn't really repeat anything which I said. Like all your points were completely new,
You
fresh
yes.
up, like
Yes.
unlike me. Yeah, also
Yeah.
like while
Second.
speak, like for Teresa, while speaking, try to look into the camera. Like while speaking, you were looking at your notes. So maybe like look at your notes and then just read it and then look at the camera and then speak.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm trying
Yes.
to do that. Yeah.
Yes. And the statement which Triza made, it is like a good book title, right? Like it can grab your attention right away. Really. The next thing I had, like, yeah, again, you had very different points as compared to Ayush, and you spoke really well. You said kidney selling price. I think you should have given a little example on that because it like there are some cheaper tuition classes, right? Maybe you
Is
could
it
have said
okay
like,
to say it like on this platform, like Akash and Aryans, they
yeah,
these
I think you should have given some examples. Like it
okay,
would have made more sense, right?
okay.
Like, and actually that is also a concern because like there are so many tuition classes who are taking so much money, and that could have been a good point to argue with me with the with anything. Maybe like I was saying YouTube is not good, but then you could have said that they are more costly or something like that. Yeah, I think you should have little elaborated on that. That's
Yes.
it. Any other feedbacks, Ayush, Riza? Okay. How did y'all like whatever weaknesses y'all had in SWOT? Like, what did you do today to improve it? Can y'all say like one? Can you say something on that?
I tried
Ayush,
introducing my topic well,
yes,
okay,
yes,
but and structuring it well as well. Um, yeah, I'm still working on that.
Yeah, for me, I had more points comparatively, like, on a huge margin, I would say. And I tried to structure it well, but maybe it was not very clear. And also at the end, I said like that's my take on this because like Kim told me that like it's not really clear when I am done speaking. So
Hmm. For me, I embraced a lot of pause. Like went slowly this time, and I think that is very helpful. Secondly, I was stuck to just 5 points today, and which also gave a good transitions to my speech. I used two proverbs, which made a good sense, like and nothing else. Like I think this was like pause was the very important thing which you all mentioned, and it really helped me.
another one
Let's
issue which
go.
I noticed in like myself today is I like my intention was to speak slightly slower, but Like when I was thinking during the ideation phase, in my mind it was going very smoothly, but when I started speaking, nothing was like coming out of the mouth very smooth in that same order. Like I will try to speak
Ah,
slightly slower and try to convey in more smoother way.
I don't know
yes,
why we feel like we are always running out of time and we'll take time from the other person, like, but it's not
yes,
the
yes.
case. I think we have to speak a bit more, like, so
Slow, yes, yes. And if you want, we'll improve the speed later. But we'll at least I'll do this. I'll go very slow.
yes.
Okay, let's go to the next phase. What is the next phase? Mm,
ChatGPT.
Mm.
no, thinking from other perspective.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, let's think from other perspective. Hmm?
Yes.
Are you still in more time? Triza, would you like to start?
Yes. Okay, you get a lot of practice on the subject, unlike schools, like tuition classes. They give you like many problems to solve, so you have a good hold on a particular type of problem. For example, say integration. If you solve many problems, like, you get a better hold on the topic, right? Next point is, there is healthy competition. You become what you see. Like, if you see someone achieving a great, like, better marks, you want to become like that person, and you also want to like achieve better when you are in a tuition class or anywhere that's competitive. Like, third point is, you get your doubts cleared, whereas when you're alone and when you do self study, you get stuck on a particular topic and you can't go ahead. So you're stuck, and then sometimes you end up giving up on that topic. But when you're in a tuition class, you can ask, you can get your doubts cleared, and you have a better flow of topics, that you can
Hmm.
study them better. fourth point is, sometimes parents don't have enough knowledge about the subject. For example, say maths.
Hmm.
So they can tuition would be like a good alternative for them. Yeah,
Hmm.
these are my 4 points. Over to you, Ayush.
Yes, I don't have any new points as such, but I have some pointers like to how you could have answered some of our questions or some of our points, countered some of our points. So about the time waste, mm, again, we most of the students don't go tuition for all the subjects. Maybe a student is weak in only one or two particular subjects. Mostly it's science, maths, or maybe English. They can only choose for tuition for that certain subjects only. Second, about we most of our points arguments were about alternatives like YouTube, but you could have it easily countered it by saying, like on YouTube there is abundance of resources, and you won't really know what to choose. Like you won't really have a good structure how to go about it. Whereas in case of a tuition, there will be only one or two teachers who will give you a proper structure guidance. You could have easily countered. And another point as Priza mentioned about extra practice questions. Like usually tuition teachers give you good notes or question banks maybe. And tuition is especially important for like really weak students. The school teachers cannot really give attention to every student. So like there could be a batches of certain students. Maybe for them they can start like from foundational like it could be a possibility that there is some foundational issues like that is the reason why students don't really understand.
Hmm.
Maybe a tuition could give them better guidance in that scenario.
Yes. Yes. I just have one point. Like as I mentioned about like not all fingers are same in the hand. We could like there are some tuition teachers who like take all the subjects, and it is not really possible for a tuition teacher to be like everywhere, like be all rounder. Even in the like if a particular subject is there, maybe say maths, the teacher might be not good at calculus as compared to combinatorics. So like that I would have said like not teacher is not all rounder, and on the other hand like on YouTuber and all you get better understanding. Only this point I have, and nothing else to support tuition against tuition. Yeah. Can we do a group study? What do you all think? Like, yeah, like if you had a child now, like, would you send the child to the tuition or like home study? Or you like if you have any question like should you go to tuition or not, like what do you see, what do you think it is?
Mm.
See, the last time I think even y'all went for tuition was like 10th standard, and after that, most of it, not 10th, sorry, 12th. Okay, so and after that, most of it was self study. So you
Hmm.
believe like that you can do it on your own as well. But in 11th, 12th, you need it because they teach you how to study, I feel, a few topics. And after that, you can do things on your own. You don't really need tuition.
Mm.
Hmm.
I kind of have some opposing points. Like I never really went for any tuition, and like even in my 10th standard, I was only one of the few students. Like there were only 4 or 5 who didn't went to the tuition, and I think it was like a really good decision from my side. I scored decently well in 10th and 12th, and I feel like tuition adds too much pressure and end up taking a lot of time. So that's why maybe that is the reason why I was in strongly favor of this topic. But I don't really think tuition is that important.
Hmm. uh, I have my perspective like in before I used to think that tuition is not good, like even I didn't do tuition till 10th, but 11th 12th I went, and I got a complete different perspective when I went to 11th 12th. Like I would have never studied like that the way I used to study before, like before I was chill, right? So I would say sometimes it is necessary for you to give reality checks, but at a larger extent perspective, if I see, I feel tuition classes exist that show that there's some problem in school, and like
There's a gap.
that is what there's a gap in school, yeah. And my mom is calling. But if a student is very weak, I think having such help is really necessary. And nowadays there are online classes which are I would have like if I had question like going for online classes or tuition, I would have gone for online classes. Yeah, that's it.
So,
ChatGPT.
mm, like,
Yeah.
to Like overall summary would be, in at least till 10th you shouldn't go to the tuition unless you are really weak in certain subjects. Maybe for 11th
Mhm.
12th you can go.
Yes, yes, totally
Yes.
agree. Yeah, ChatGPT Phase. Mhm.
The meet will end in 3 minutes, so it should finish at 2.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'll start. 2 points which I found, like when tuition could be beneficial, because sometimes tuition can only teach you as per the exam format, and not all the stuff. Whereas in the classes you are taught everything, but only certain part of the
Mhm.
concepts are usually useful for exams. In that cases, maybe for certain students, tuition might be useful. And second will be for competitive exams like JE or NEET. As they say, but like the syllabus is only limited to 11 12 standard, but it's not all the time enough for the competitive exams. For maybe that scenario, tuitions might be useful. And from the negative side, it could lead to some unhealthy competition between the students in the normal school classes, because like when I was in 12, there was a guy, like always he already used to study everything from the tuition, like little bit advanced in advance, and always used to shout in classes like he knows everything, and used to disturb the classes every time. So that was like
Mhm.
a very negative side. Yeah.
Teresa?
Most of my points are covered by Ayush about the focus training, like for NEET, JE or NET. You need some amount of training, I feel.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yes.
that is it.
Uh, I have only one unique point, which is commercializing education. Like some, there is some politics in some tuition, like Ellen, Akash. That is what I would say. Nothing else. Yeah. So let us end the meet. It is getting over. So yeah, see you all tomorrow. Thanks for coming. So that was our debate on the topic tuition, good or bad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Hey.
Eh, Ayush, Ram, एक एक कुछ save कर